Look, I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you, if you quit playing. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Look, see, we vibing and you know it's true. Baby, what it do? Do for me and I'ma do for you, no doubt about it. Boosie, I'm a Midwest king, looking for myself a queen. Ready to chase a dream with a dope self-esteem. You find it in all I know, and that's for real. You get to shaking that ass on the floor, and I see what's real. No disrespect, I just tell it like it is. Do you ever want some kids? What your ultimate goals? Maybe I can help with those. The mo was broke when he made you a blessing. You looking like a whole buffet, and I need some seconds. You say you had promiscuous ways, that was back in the day. I'll be alive, I say I did it, that shit was a phase. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you, if you quit playing. Won't you take the chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Lady, you so far ahead of these others, just like a ship on the horizon. Picking up on your vibe, signal stronger than Verizon. All the thoughts that I've been contemplating, ain't no time for faking or debating. You the one, ain't no mistaking. Look, I see your swag different. Always carry yourself like you ready, you on a mission. I had to know you, I'm Tim. I can see why you timid. Hold up now, baby, listen. Just take that dance with me, I can show you that there's a difference. I'm locked in. I throw away my playaways because you pop in. A shooter always shoot a shot. With you by my side, I guarantee we'll reach the top. I put that on God and them, I give you all that I got. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you, if you quit playing. Won't you take the chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me.
Welcome to the Behind Them Sticks podcast, brought to you by TSWS Game. Yo, what's up, everybody? All right, perfect. My mic's working. Everything's working. Yes, let's freaking go. Hello. Thank you guys for showing up this phenomenal Thursday to another episode of Behind Them Sticks with your boy Ham Solo 05 Gaming here with you today on the TSWS Gaming YouTube channel here. And I have an awesome guest that, man, I don't have a watch on my hand, but I mean, I think you guys get the gesture. We've been planning on doing this interview quite a while, and we just didn't quite get to it. I mean, he's on another part of the earth from me, and then also work schedules and stuff like that. But we are here today. We have finally got everything. We got our poop in the group, and we're ready to get it going. So I'm happy to introduce today's guest, which is a tester of many different consoles. But let me go on ahead and introduce him as Mr. Maurice. The Xbox tester is what I knew him as. But as time went on, he became not only the Xbox tester, but also the PlayStation tester. And now the Nintendo tester.
So,
brother, what's going on here?
Yeah. Hi, hello. How's everybody doing? So great to finally be on your show. Man, it's been such a chore to finally get on your show. Oh my goodness! But we're finally here. But yeah. I started as the Xbox tester, and And now it's the PlayStation tester and Nintendo tester too.
But what happened? Like, was there something? I mean, was there like not enough things to test on Xbox, so you decided to go to PlayStation as well, and then you ran out of a few things there and decided to go, hey, let's do the trifecta. Like what the heck made you like go from testing one thing to now three?
Okay. I'm a gamer. I love video games. And
Simple answer.
yeah, that's a really simple answer. To get a little bit back into the history, I started with Nintendo. Then I got on PlayStation, and after PlayStation, I went to Xbox. But I still love all three the consoles. I just like them. So when I started the Xbox channel, it was pure coincidental that I was playing on Xbox with my channel, but I still like to play video games. So if it's on PlayStation, or if it's on Nintendo, or on PC, or on Steam Deck, or whatever console, I just like to play video games. So that's why.
Well, I mean, that answer is quite simple, and I think we can move on from there. That's enough. That's enough of an answer. But before we go any further into, because I'm gonna break down a little bit of your history, and then I'm asking you stuff about your content, and then I'll ask you some stuff about your thoughts on the future and stuff like that. So that's kind of the direction it'll go. You've seen me send you the question, so you have a good idea of the direction of my mind. But I mean, as I told you before the podcast, it might not go exactly that way. But anyways, before we do dive off into that stuff, please let everybody know what gaming and social media platforms that you are on, whether they can, add you to their Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo. If you want to give out that social security long type of thing, you definitely, I mean, not literally your social security, but I'm saying like that Nintendo thing, that code to add somebody, it couldn't be more confusing.
No, that's correct. That's why I always have all those kinds of stuff in my description on Twitter. So if you want to add me on Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo, I've got all the information on my Twitter page, and that's really simple, at the Games Tester. So yeah, that's where you can find everything. And yeah, you can find me on YouTube, of course, at the Nintendo Tester, at the Xbox Tester, at the PlayStation Tester. Simple as that.
And as you guys know, I must pay our guest the respect and put his information in the description. So I did that prior to this show starting, and make sure you guys go down to the description, see what's available, hit that click, and then hit that subscribe button for your man Maurice right here. He's a good dude, and he loves gaming in general. He's not console warring or anything like that. He just likes to sit down and enjoy a good time like many of us out here. So please support a good guy when you see one. But anyways, as I continue to move forward, I want to know, what at this point in time are you playing, sir? What are you playing?
Right now I am playing Octopath Traveler 2 on my Nintendo Switch. That's like a JRPG that I'm really into right now. I love to play a Destiny Lightfall. I just started it yesterday. The new expansion for that. I was playing some Wolang Fallen Dynasty. I'm not that good at it, but I just uploaded a video on that one. So yeah, those are the games that I'm playing right now. To be honest, mostly Destiny 2 and Octopath Traveler.
So those games, Octopath Traveler and Destiny 2, have your mind right now, have the mind share.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Wolong, you gave it a try. You said you're not that good at it. Are you going to play it day one when it comes out? Are you going to try to run through it, or is that kind of something you're standoffish?
I already have the game for like 1.5 weeks already.
Oh, so you have the full game.
Yeah, I got the full game already. They sent it me like last week or something already, the full game from Koei Tecmo. So I've been playing it for a week or so. I'm just not that good at it.
Man, I tell you what, something about that game, I tell you, the biggest things that you need to know is unless you see that red thing pop up where it's like going to do the unblockable attack.
Yeah.
Those
Dodge.
are the only times you should really be using the parry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
Every other hit, block. LB, just hold that sucker, and you will. Yeah. I'm telling you, will mop the floor with some of these bosses.
I know. But you know what it is? What my problem? The problem with me is I have too many games. I've got so many games, and I got so much games to get into, so I don't always have the time to get really good at some games.
So it's not. So in other words, you're just saying it's like you're like I got in there and try it, but I have 8 other things on my mind right now, and giving this all of that mind share isn't really there. And plus, you already have 2 other things going on with Destiny and Octopath Traveler. So it was more or less, I'm going to try this for a little bit, but this ain't the meat and potatoes that I'm ready to eat right now.
No, you know, the problem with me is I get so many games from developers to test on my channel that 9 out of 10 times when I did the video, the game after I uploaded the video, I delete the game from my hard drive. Same went on with Wolong Fallen Dynasty. I made the video and it's off to make room for new games. And yeah, that's a little bit how it works.
Well, if you're ever just like, oh, I'm so exhausted, this game, I just can't do it. Just know that Ham Solo is right here saying, giveth. I will try it for you.
I always get only digital keys, so
and I'm on the other side of the earth, so it probably won't work at all.
No. And Xbox is not that hard. Xbox is always like they have like global keys. So if you get a key from Xbox, you can use it everywhere in the world. PlayStation and Nintendo is a completely different story. You really need to request a key for the part of the world you live in, because otherwise they won't work.
And he said they specific over there, very specific. Gotcha. Yeah. All right, so I got that question down. Now we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this show, if you're okay with that. So the first thing or at least one of the things I had asked you before we got into the show, you know, green room talk or whatever you want to call it. Me and you were just kind of kicking it, and I was asking you like, what was the first console that you ever did? If you guys are not new to the show, you know I ask that to most of my guests. This gentleman today said that the first console he had access to was the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. Let's go get a look at that bad boy right there. So, as this is running, please tell me what about the Nintendo Entertainment System was so good to you back then. Obviously, it was readily available for you to play, sure, but like, where was your mind at that young of age? Because it definitely wasn't like where you are now at all.
No, yeah. How do you say that? You play those consoles with friends, and they had like the Duck Hunt / Super Mario Brothers system, so the family pack, I think it was called back then, and I fell in love with it right away. And not long after that, I got my my own NES, and it was a pack-in set with Super Mario Brothers 3 that I got. So yeah, I loved it. I was playing before video games. We had like a PC at home that was like a Philips P2000 PC, and I was playing games like Pac-Man and Arkanoid, all those kinds of games. But yeah, the Nintendo really got you into an adventure. It really got you, it gave you a purpose for playing. It's not only like getting a high score, but giving you a purpose, you know, saving the princess, or saving the world, or whatever. And that's what really got me into gaming.
So it was part of like them introducing some sort of story that's supposed to like
Yes,
take you on a ride, I guess.
a purpose, give you a purpose to to beat the system, beat the computer. And I think that was really, really what got me into gaming. And I still love to play NES games. I sometimes, even when I'm on my YouTube channel, I still play those NES games on my Xbox channel. For like DuckTales, I love DuckTales on the NES, and I love Mega Man. Mega Man 2 and 3 are some of my personal favorites of all time. And I can still complete these games. I can still put me up with DuckTales, and I will complete that game for you in less than 10 minutes.
Oh my god!
That's how much I love them. And
This
I've got
man's
it
a
on
maniac.
tape. I'm not even exaggerating. I have it on tape.
Yeah, it sounds like you're a maniac when it comes to that game. But
Yeah.
but moving a little bit forward, so that was kind of like your first kind of taste of console gaming. As you said just a moment ago, you had a PC that you used. But as for like something set up on your TV, it was the Nintendo. But moving from there, did that catch you? That Nintendo, did that catch your love for gaming? Or
I never
was it
stopped.
some Okay, so would you say, just out of curiosity, would you say that the Nintendo was more important, or that Philips computer back in the day really got you?
The Nintendo really got me. The Philips got me into gaming. That learned me how to play on a game.
It was like the appetizer.
Yeah, that was like the appetizer, and the Nintendo really got me into gaming. That was really like, okay, this is something I love to do, and I would love to do for the rest of my life. And I'm still playing video games 30 years later.
Mr. Sirex Man in the chat says, I see the Ecto 1 on his shelf. Ghostbusters forever. We were talking about that just briefly before we got into other conversations about some stuff. But you said that you are a big time 80s guy.
Yeah. I love 80s toys. I love 80s pop culture. I'm really into Transformers. On the top shelf, you see some Transformers. You've got the Ghostbusters, He-Man, Masters of the Universe, Jurassic Park. That's more 90s, I know. TMNT, JC and the Wheeled Warriors. Mask, of course. I love those cartoons, and I can still watch them and enjoy them. I really, really love the 80s stuff.
Okay, I'm getting off really topic with this one. Are you an Indiana Jones fan?
Of course.
Okay.
Indiana Jones, of course, yeah.
This is so off topic, but but I want to know real quick, like with Indiana Jones being, marketed to come out in theaters this summer, do you think that there's any chance Machine Games has a product ready?
Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. And I don't really like to be like guessing on video games. It's like I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
It could be, but yeah. You never know.
Fair enough. Well, let's get back on topic. I do have another question from the chat from HTK360. He said, did you have a Commodore 64? It is very popular in the Netherlands.
Yeah, that's correct. Commodore 64 was really popular here in the Netherlands. I never owned a C64. But for me, it was the Philips P2000. It's a little bit like the same kind of system. It also worked with cassette tapes, and it was really, really basic. It was a computer from 1981. So, yeah, it's almost the same as the C64.
Okay, so you had the other product, not the the C product, I guess. But
No, I
but
did have a Commodore, but it was a little bit later. I had the Commodore Amiga.
okay, so you had something else. Got it.
Yeah, I had the Commodore Amiga, but that was like in the early 90s or so. So that was our first real big PC.
Well, let's
But
kind of
that's not
work our
AC64.
let's work our way into the 90s. Actually, let's go on ahead and do that. So after the NES made such a big splash into your gaming, ventures, what
Mhm.
was next on board? Because obviously, from the way you describe it, Nintendo had you hooked. It had you by the throat.
Yeah.
Was it the SNES then, or did you go to the rival?
No, SNES all the way. I got an SNES like a little bit, I think like 1993 or something, 1994. Probably I got this package version with Super Mario All Stars. That was my first Super Nintendo. I got Pilot Wings with it and a few other games. And yeah, that was my go-to console. But my friends, they had the Sega Mega Drive, and that's where I played Sonic and stuff on their Mega Drives. But
So, so what you're saying is, at some point, you went to the dark side.
yeah, I definitely went to the dark side sometimes. But I don't see it as a dark side. That's the same as people know me mostly as the Xbox tester. But when I went to PlayStation, they were like, "Oh, you went to the dark side." No, for me, it's both are light sides.
You're like, I see the light on both sides. Y'all tripping. But as for that Sega system that you went to, once you got to the Sega, was there looking back on the Nintendo, or did you kind of leave it in the past? Or Nintendo, I'm sorry.
No, I stayed with Nintendo. The whole complete 90s up to the early 2000s, I was only playing on Nintendo consoles and PC.
Okay, so the Sega was like a side dish.
Side dish, definitely a side dish.
Oh, damn it. All right.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay, so you grew up.
There was one Sega console I got day one.
What was it?
Dreamcast.
Okay, I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you at all with that one. That's a good pickup. They had plenty of games at launch. It's just after that.
Yeah. Still one of my favorite consoles ever created.
Oh yeah, I love it. The VMU was super cool, especially Sonic Adventures. I love that game. Power Stone. Shenmue is probably my favorite Sega Dreamcast game. That 4-disc package, 3 of the main game, and then the passport disc on there.
Skies of Arcadia, I think it was. I don't know. A lot of I had so many games. You could copy those games, so I had a lot of games on my Dreamcast.
yeah. I mean, they're definitely they were shooting out for a while, and then they just kind of stopped. Tomb Raider was on there. I remember Fighting Force way back in the day.
Yeah.
Fantastic beat 'em up game. It was like it was like the next gen kind of feeling game of something like Streets of Rage.
Yeah, true. But I think I played Fighting Force for the first time on my N64.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they had the original Fighting Force, I think, on there, and then maybe the Dreamcast had Fighting Force 2.
That's correct, because I played Fighting Force 1 on my N64 back then.
Great game.
Yeah,
fantastic,
really
fun,
cool.
little goofy game that you could play co-op. And that's what made it really fun. But now, now going from like Sega and Nintendo and back and forth and whatnot, Tell me about your introduction, or actually, before we go into the introduction to PlayStation, I want to know, like, what were some of the other consoles that you may have enjoyed during that time period? So let's go off the beat of Sega and Nintendo and PlayStation. Like there was still, 3DO back during that time. There were handhelds like Nomads and Game Gears and
Those
Game Boy
weren't that big
Colors and
here.
stuff like that.
Those weren't that big here in the Netherlands. Like a 3DO, yeah, it was almost impossible to find a 3DO here in the Netherlands.
Wow.
Also the Sega Saturn. It's almost impossible to find one here in the Netherlands back then. Those were not consoles that were sold a lot here. I think the only strange console we had here, I think it was like the Philips CDI. And even that thing nobody wanted.
He said nobody wanted it. What was the
No,
problem? Why didn't anybody want that? What was taking the
shitty
mind
games.
share? What was taking the
It
mind
was
share away?
Nah, it was really bad games. It was a lot of crap and what do you say, educational games, and I wasn't interested in that at all. No, it was here in the Netherlands. It was for 99%. It was early 90s. It was Sega, Nintendo, then Sony, and Nintendo, and that's it.
Okay, real simple for y'all.
Real simple. Yeah. We didn't had like all these. Yeah, Atari Jaguar.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's
the
a
Jaguar
system.
next.
It's a system that I think it got dumped here in the Netherlands for a while. They never brought it day one here in the Netherlands, but there was like one. How do you say that? Company that was buying up all these obsolete Atari Jaguars, and you could get like an Atari Jaguar for like what? I think 30 bucks or
Oh
something.
my goodness.
Nobody wanted those things. No, it was only Nintendo, and PlayStation here. Nothing
Okay.
else.
Gotcha. All right. So I'm actually a little bit more interested in how you're describing what you guys as pretty much a country were interested in. I'm looking forward to hearing about that as more things develop throughout this conversation. So now I want to jump into PlayStation. What was the introduction to that like from you? Did you go and quick question before you actually answer that? Did you go from, were you already in like playing CD based games, or were you going from cartridge to disc?
Well, I was playing on my GameCube, and the GameCube he had like these smaller DVDs.
Did you have the PlayStation after the GameCube though? Because I'm talking about the OG PlayStation.
Yeah, I never owned a OG PlayStation.
Oh, okay. So you were deep into Nintendo.
I was really
for a
deep
while
into Nintendo. Yeah.
Okay.
I did play a lot of PlayStation titles, but I played those on PC. I had a really good PC, so all the great PlayStation titles from back then, I played on my PC, like Metal Gear Solid. I played on my PC. I played Final Fantasy VII. I played that one on my PC. Tomb Raider played on a PC. So, yeah, a lot of those
What
games.
year is this? What year is this that you did that? I mean, like, vicinity.
98, 99.
Wow, on your PC way back then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those were the days that we were playing those kind of games. A lot of people always think that Final Fantasy VII and Metal Gear Solid, Colin McRae, that those were only playable on the PlayStation 1. But those games came out like half a year after the PlayStation 1. They also came to PC, so that's when I played those games.
Wasn't the original Metal Gear on PC first?
No. Yeah,
am I wrong?
The original Metal Gear was on the MSX.
Okay, I didn't know that. I just thought I'd ask because I thought I heard something like the original Metal Gear was out on PC before it was out somewhere else. or something
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
on MSX. On the MSX, the first two Metal Gear games were on MSX. Then there were two Metal Gear games on NES, but those were not made by Hideo Kojima. And part 3, Metal Gear Solid 3, or yeah, Metal Gear Solid, that one came out first on PlayStation, and I think like a year later on PC or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remember back in those days when PC games came out, they came in the big old boxes. They
Yeah,
came in those big old unnecessary boxes, and then there's like a jewel disc
yeah,
holder with the game inside of it. You had to have the product key and everything. So once you put in the disc, it like pretty much said, "All right, we understand this is disc, but do you own it? Give me that product
yeah,
key." And you had to put it in there.
yeah.
That was super annoying. So if you ever borrowed a game from a friend, you had to make sure they gave you that product key and everything with it as well,
Yep,
which is a pain in the butt.
But
Absolutely. But all right. So wow, you had the GameCube before you even had a PlayStation. I did not see this conversation going this direction. Okay. So when did you show up on the scene, or better yet, before you answer that, what was your GameCube experience like? What was some of the like big name games that you were messing with? I'll give you one of mine real quick. One of mine was Eternal Darkness.
Oh, perfect. Awesome game.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. One of the more underrated gems on the GameCube, I think. That game needs so much more love. But for me, it was Metroid Prime.
That developer wasn't. They kind of messed up. But but anyways,
they messed up with Too Human, I think, on the Xbox. They messed it up.
Mm-hmm. That whole Unreal situation that they ended up going through, that was pretty bad. But anyways, I'm sorry I interrupted. Continue.
No, but Metroid Prime. I played that one a lot. Sonic Adventure 2 was an amazing game on the GameCube. Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, still the best version of Metal Gear Solid you can get.
That game's expensive today. Game's very expensive.
I still own it.
Good for you. You got some money.
I still have it. Yeah. No. I still own it from back in the day.
No, I'm just saying you got money on you. Like that game's worth some money now. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's correct. There were so many games on the GameCube. I don't know. Luigi's Mansion was amazing. I still have my Wavebird somewhere.
Sir X-Man said, "Beautiful Joe."
Beautiful Joe. Yeah, that was also a very cool game. I never owned it, by the way, but I played it later on.
Yeah,
but there were so many great games. But I think around the GameCube era, when I was playing GameCube, I think my mind went also a little bit more towards the PlayStation, because you had like Final Fantasy X, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, and I think that was the reason why I bought myself during the GameCube era a PlayStation 2.
Okay. Yeah, so Metal Gear is what got you.
Yeah, Metal Gear, I think. Jack and Dexter, God of War, of course. So, yeah, a lot of games got me into the PlayStation back then. Also, the PlayStation 2 was my first console that I was playing online with Twisted Metal Black. That was like my go-to game. I played that game religiously online. I love to play that game online so much. And yeah, that was like my first real online experience with gaming online.
Something I gotta know now. If you had the PlayStation 2 online, did you have like Roadrunner, like Ethernet cable, or did you have dial-up plugged into it?
No, Ethernet.
Good for you. I had dial-up and it was rough.
Okay. Yeah, no. Thankfully, we have really good internet here in the Netherlands.
I remember that little box that you have to screw into the back of the PlayStation 2, and then you plug the Ethernet or dial-up wire into it, and
Yeah.
and let it do its thing. It was definitely an infancy for online gaming
It
back
was
then, for
something.
sure. He said it was some. I got you. Let me shout out the chat real quick because there's some awesome people in here, and I just want to pay some respects out here. I already said like Matt likes games, Sir X Man, HTK 360. Let's go with Sour Blow. What's cracking? Charlie Hustle. Good to see you. Earlier, Charlie said, "Yo, I love Maurice's channel." So you got some fans up in here, which is awesome. Sour Blows also getting on to Loke about Angelina Jolie because that was our last one of our last topics and then one of our last podcasts. We were talking about Gone in 60 Seconds, and Loke was talking about how he was salivating over Eleanor, the car that Nicolas Cage did, and I was like, "Hey, you salivating over the car? I'm looking over at Angelina Jolie, bro." And he was like, "Oh man, the car is more sexy than her," and I was like, "I don't know."
But did you watch the original Gone in 60 Seconds?
Oh, the super old one way back. What was that, like in like the 60s or 70s?
60s or 70s. Really awesome movie, by the way. I'm still, by the way, for the people that are watching me, I'm little bit sick. So sometimes I need to
take care of yourself. That's what you need to do.
Whew.
And that even makes me even happier that he is willing to come on with being under the weather. So I mean, I am very, very thankful for you. But moving on, let's actually get into some of the newer day consoles before we go into some of the other stuff that we have on the docket for the day. So. But right before we do that, I gotta know, because like I said, I noticed you first as being Maurice, the Xbox tester. That's how I met you, essentially, or seen your channel and stuff like that.
Most people. Tell
me about your first time with the Xbox, what it was like, and what kind of made you fall in love with it.
Well, that's a really cool story, actually, because I am such a Nintendo fan from back in the day.
So what happened?
Nintendo, what happened? Microsoft bought Rare.
That happened, yeah, I get it.
That happened. And when I never owned the OG Xbox. I never had one.
Wow.
Back in the day, when Nintendo or Rare, Microsoft was telling they had bought Rare, I was really disappointed because I loved games from Rare. Perfect Dark, Donkey Kong Country, Blast Corps, all of them. I love Rare games. So when the Xbox 360 came out, they had two launch games from Rare, and one of them I really wanted to play, and that was Perfect Dark Zero and Cameo. Those were the two games on the Xbox 360 that I really wanted to play. So that was the moment for me to buy or jump into the 360 era of gaming. And yeah, the rest is history. So it's actually the reason why I became an Xbox gamer is because Microsoft bought Rare.
Wow. Oh man, I know I know some fans are maybe looking around like, I'm an Activision fan.
yeah. But Activision also had some really cool games back in the days.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those are like the way you're talking reminds me of a lot of the time periods of gaming in which we never thought about first party games. We never thought about that until like you'd start seeing like these not Activision Blizzard, but like Rare, Naughty Dog, and all these other places start to get kind of piled up. You didn't see the writing on the wall at that point, though, really. Still, you would have never thought that at this point, Insomniac would be PlayStation, Crash and Spyro would be Activision, and possibly getting acquired by Xbox, which that came from like I said, Naughty Dog and Insomniac, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, the way games is moving is really weird and whatnot. But like I remember back then, my favorite developer and stuff like that was Midway, man. Like I was a Midway kid, dude. I love those sports, like insane, intense sports games like Hits and Blitz,
NBA Jam.
NBA Jam, yeah. But whether it was Williamson or Midway or freaking Acclaim, they all just kind of like seem to not lovingly but share some of those IPs. And I emphasize not lovingly because if you look at the whole NBA Jam situation, that was messy. That was really messy.
Absolutely. But yeah, that same as what I have with Konami and Capcom. I still love games from those two. Not that Konami is anything anymore, but yeah, Capcom is still doing great things, and I love Konami since day one, and Capcom since day one, and I still love Capcom games till this day.
All right. Well, as I was trying to progress forward before I let myself, step in the mud a little bit and ask you another question about the past, moving on forward. So now I want to stop at the 360, PS3, and Wii generation. Okay. Mm-hmm. Nintendo's looking a lot different, right? In the way that they're presenting the way to play their games.
Yes.
Were you still very much Nintendo with the Wii doing what it did?
I even bought a Nintendo Wii on day one. I bought even the Nintendo Wii U. I had one of those day one. I'm always a Nintendo guy, and I will always stay a Nintendo guy. Nintendo is just fun.
So Nintendo is here to stay. It has its own room in the house. It ain't moving out anytime soon or ever.
Nope.
Gotcha. So then now what we have left is the 360, which you already kind of talked about. You got into big time because of Rare. Let's talk about the PS3. Where were you at on that? Because PS2, as you said earlier, was the first one that you really dove into because of like God of War and a few other key games, Metal Gear Solid being that as well. But where were you at on the PS3 now that it's the next generation? It's now more expensive. They got the Blu-ray in there, but they're also offering like 1080p. They have a better way to be on the internet with Wi-Fi capabilities and stuff like that.
I did buy a PlayStation 3 day one. I think the 360 came out like a year before the PlayStation 3. And I also bought a PlayStation 3 day one. I think I had like MotorStorm with it. And
launch game,
MotorStorm and Heavily Sword. Those were the two games I bought with it. Really liked it. I had the backwards compatible edition back then, so I could even play God of War 2 on that system, because I think God of War 2 came out around the same time as the PlayStation 3. So, yeah, I played a lot of PlayStation 3, but somehow, I didn't like the PlayStation 3 that much, to be honest.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. The games...
It was backwards compatible. What happened?
Yeah, I know, but, my mind was... I think at that moment in time, the Xbox 360 had the better games for me. Because I was really into online gaming. I loved playing Halo 3 online. I loved playing Gears of War 1 online. And PlayStation 3 just didn't have something like that.
Fair enough.
It just wasn't there.
I didn't have a PlayStation 3 at all until just a couple years ago. So I feel you on that sentiment. I had a 360 during the 360 time period, and it was awesome. It was my all-in-one console. I could plug in my terabyte to it and watch movies and TV shows and music. I could, the PS3, you couldn't even get in chats with people. But on the 360, that chat was great. In fact, you could be in a chat, Netflix, and chilling it up, watching movies together and stuff like that.
So much fun. It was so much fun on the 360. And also, when the 360 launched with achievements, I also got a little bit into achievement hunting. So, yeah, and PlayStation didn't had something like that from the start. It took them like 2 or 3 years into the PlayStation 3 before they added trophies. And yeah, I just couldn't get into trophies. I just didn't care. So
Yeah.
yeah, I never got that. My PlayStation 3, it didn't got the time it deserved. There were some great games on the PlayStation 3. Don't get me wrong. I loved Uncharted. Those were my favorite games on the PlayStation 3. But next to that, almost nothing that I was playing on PlayStation 3, because I was only playing on Xbox 360.
Yeah, and a painful thing for the PS3 is a lot of their flex came towards the end of the console generation. So a lot of their masterpiece games, especially like when you look at like the way the PS4 had some great, I don't know, remasters made for it based from the PS3, like for instance, The Last of Us, that was a huge one. Yeah, I feel like the PS3 really struggled a lot when it came to the beginning, and also some of the features it had was fantastic, but it wasn't exactly where people were looking like to need. Like people didn't need that, because I mean, remember HDMI cords? Remember how much those used to be? They used to be like $100 for a freaking cord. A 1080p TV was thousands of dollars. Like the way the PlayStation set themselves up, they set themselves up great in the sense of quality. But when you're talking to a bunch of gamers, I mean, especially back in those times, we didn't have $700 to throw at the wall.
Yeah.
That 360 being priced at like what, $300 was like fantastic.
Something like that. Yeah,
it was. I think it was like $299 or something. It was insane. And the PlayStation was like double the price, but
yeah,
the games were
well,
like.
It had a Blu-ray. I had a Blu-ray player, and I think I used my PlayStation 3 more as a Blu-ray player than I did as a gaming console.
It was the cheapest Blu-ray player on the market. I'll give it that, right?
Simple fact. Simple fact. I used it a lot as Blu-ray player, but as gaming console, no. The 360 was my go-to console back then.
Gotcha. Charlie Hustle in the chat says, I like the PS3 better than the PS2, but the 360 was the king of that generation. In my opinion, it totally was. Like I said, I mean, or I'm not even sure if I said it yet, but the 360 had that lead all the way up until the very end, really. Yeah. And in most people's minds, 360 flat out just won it. Yeah.
I think so, because I don't want it. I think that's always like what console should win a generation? What's winning a generation? It says nothing.
It doesn't do anything, really. I mean, other than, you know, you get whatever stamp of approval, bragging rights or whatnot. But I'm just talking about in the term of relevance compared to the previous generation. The 360 was popping compared to the original Xbox versus the PlayStation 2, because we got to remember the PlayStation 2 was the most sold console ever. Eventually. So to step up like the 360 did is nothing to scoff at. Not at all. Like insane. That put Xbox on the map.
Perfect. Yeah. 100%.
But now moving forward to the next generation after that. Okay. So you said you got the Wii U day one. That was on and popping for you. But one thing, or the two things that we didn't discuss, is the PS4 and the Xbox One. I want you to tell me a little bit about like how your mind was kind of processing the two when you seen the event for each of them. So this is before getting hands-on with the console. When you seen the event for Xbox and you seen the event for PlayStation, where was your head kind of at? Who were you more excited for at the time?
Xbox One.
Okay, and why?
100%. Why? Because of the games. I didn't really care for. A lot of people are still are still bickering about the DRM failure of the Xbox One when they first announced it, and that thing got slaughtered by Xbox in like what, a week or something, and people are still using it. Like that's where the Xbox One lost the generation. But yeah, I still love to play the Xbox One games. I was really looking forward to Rise, Son of Rome. That game looks amazing. It still looks amazing. I did a
To
video
this
on
day.
it on my channel, and that game, there are still AAA games that don't look as good as Rise, Son of Rome. That was a launch title for the Xbox One, and it had somehow the PlayStation 4 just didn't do it for me. I never
Like
owned
throughout the
a
generation?
PlayStation 4. No, I
Oh, snap.
never.
He said I didn't have nothing to do with that.
I had no. At the first PlayStation I bought after the PlayStation 3 was a PlayStation 5.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I took a
I
longer break than you though, because I went from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 5. I didn't have a
Okay.
PlayStation 4 either, so I'm kind of with you on that part.
Yeah, I never owned a PlayStation 4. I don't know why. The thing has amazing games. I'm really happy that I own a PlayStation 5 right now, and it's backwards compatible with like 99% of the PlayStation 4 titles. So I can play amazing games that I missed out on, like the Order 1886 and Uncharted 4, Last of Us 2, God of War. But yeah, those are the games you wanted to play on a PlayStation 4, and I finally can play those games. But even better because I'm playing those on the PlayStation 5, and they look perfect. I'm
Awesome.
really glad I waited.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't mad either because that is that's the one backwards compatible thing that you can throw a disc in is the
Hmm.
for the PS5 is the PlayStation 4. And yeah, I'm sure I missed God of War 2018 when it launched. I ended up beating it though now, and same with like Spider-Man as well. And there was really some good games on the PS4, but I don't know. Like when I heard about, I'm not gonna lie. When I heard about the snap features and stuff like that that the Xbox One had, it sold me immediately.
Hmm.
Just the whole all-in-one aspect. Ever since being a little kid with Sega and seeing all the crazy adaptations that they had, I thought Xbox was like right up my alley when it came with the Xbox One and just how
Yeah,
many dang different things it could do. I'm on YouTube while I'm playing a video game and in a headset chat and whatnot, or I can unplug my cable box and plug my computer in and watch stuff while I'm playing a game. Like there's been so many times where I was watching a live football game while I'm playing Destiny.
I still, to this day, I have no idea how the party system works on my PlayStation 5. I have no idea. I have no idea how it works. I will tell you this even. I
Oh
had to
no.
call up a friend of mine when I bought my PlayStation 5. I had to call a friend of mine to ask him how to um, um, shut off my PlayStation 5 because I had no idea how to do that with the controller.
My goodness.
I had no idea.
I got a whole nother question now. How'd you go from not being able to know how to turn off your console to being a tester for it?
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Oh man, that's awesome. So you ended up digging deep, I guess.
Yeah. But now I know all the things about PlayStation 5, how it works, how it functions. But still, the party system is, for me, it's completely abracadabra on the PlayStation 5. I
It's
have
something.
no idea how it works. And I don't want to know anymore. I gave up.
I tell you, man, like if you ever get into have you ever been in a party chat on PlayStation?
Yeah.
It's
But
different. It's a different
it's
experience.
a 100% different experience.
I swear my friends like it's a running joke within my like small group of friends, and this is no fanboy stuff that I'm trying to do right now, but it's kind of a running joke now because we always every night we get into our Xbox party or we get into Discord or something like that. Anytime I say let's hop into the PlayStation party as a joke, for the most part, they're just like, God, no, they get literally frustrated with me whenever I mention getting into a PlayStation party. Strictly because something about the audio in the PlayStation parties is just it's just weird. I don't know why it sounds so tin canny.
I don't know.
But did you have that experience?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. It's different. I think
It
that's
works.
the best way to describe it. It works, but it's hopefully Discord will make a lot of good things up in the PlayStation 5 because it's not there.
We're moving on. Anyways, Charlie Hustle in the chat says Rise is incredible in his opinion, which it is. It to me, it's a game I beat at launch and a game I beat again just like a year and a half ago, and I was still stunned while I was playing it that game still held up. The only thing I want from that is like a 60 FPS patch if it's able to be done on it. I know the whole timing thing, especially with that game, because it's like one of those games that have like, the time sequence that you need to,
red, blue, and
exactly. And then Loke 7, which is the dude that I was talking about earlier, that's my partner in crime on this channel. He says PS3 was my Metal Gear Solid 4 machine. That was it.
That was also a really strange game, Metal Gear Solid 4 on the PlayStation 3, because it had like these really strange loading times between games, and it had to install parts of the game. It was a complete dumpster fire on the PlayStation 3. It was a really good game, don't get me wrong. I loved Metal Gear Solid 4, but yeah, it is what it is.
Gotcha. Now we're finally at the current generation. Woo! Dab your forehead.
Yes.
Might have been a little sweaty during that time trying to get through all that information. But anyways, so this current generation, this time you felt the need to have both right away. Obviously, you got the Switch a while, probably sometime in the wait, what? Time out. What are you about to say? I see you shaking your head.
I got my Nintendo Switch a month ago.
What happened? You went from telling me about you confessed your love for Nintendo and said, you know what, it always has a place on my couch.
Yeah.
But it just arrived to your couch recently. Why hold off for so long?
I don't know. So somehow the Nintendo Switch didn't really got to me. I don't know. The launch games didn't really speak to me, and I don't know. Somehow I was content with my my Xbox, and yeah, I didn't feel the need to directly buy a Nintendo Switch. So I bought my Nintendo Switch literally a month ago.
I'm just kind of blown away by this because I had anticipated you having the Switch like day one, but it was several years later that you ended up getting it. Why was Breath of the Wild not enough? Why was Odyssey not enough? Why was any of these games not enough for you? Was it the performance of the console? What was it?
I don't know. The reason why I even bought a Nintendo Switch was when they announced Metroid Prime Remastered. That was for
Oh,
me the reason I went online and buy myself a Nintendo Switch OLED.
so are you telling me now that you're not the biggest like Zelda or Mario fan?
I like Mario, but Zelda, Zelda is a little bit like a hate-love relationship. There are Zelda games I really like, and there are Zelda games I just don't care about. And one
You
of
ain't hurting my
those
feelings. I feel
is
like it's overrated. You ain't hurting my feelings.
okay. Zelda, some of them are really good, like Ocarina of Time. Loved it. Majora's Mask sucks. A Link to the Past, amazing. The first Zelda, the first two on the NES, I don't want to even poke them with a stick. I really don't like those games. It's not my kind of game, and
So get that shit out of here.
yeah, get that stuff out of here. And same goes with the Wind Waker games. I just don't care a little bit. The driving around in a boat and stuff. I couldn't care about those games. I really couldn't care. Give me a good Super Mario or a Metroid. I love Metroid. Metroid is the only game series on Nintendo that I am sad for that it's not on other consoles. The rest, they can stay on Nintendo. But Metroid, I would love to see something like Metroid on the Xbox or PlayStation.
Man, just to imagine like Metroid at like 4K 60 would be insane.
Would be insane.
As nice as, because like I don't have the game, but my buddy Matt was showing off a few like screen grabs that he got from Metroid, and I'm just like, wow, Nintendo can make it look that good on a Switch. Imagine what they could do if they had all these new features that are out and available now. Not saying that that's their forte, but I'm just saying, like, imagine. And and if I remember correctly, way back in the day, Nintendo did try to tease something about a realistic like Zelda kind of game, but they ended up shutting that down and made like the most pixely kind of Zelda that you'd ever seen. During like the 360 era, or not 360, the GameCube era.
Yeah, I got most of the Zelda games. I always get these Zelda games. I also pre-ordered the new one that comes out in a month or 3, and I already know I'm not gonna beat it. I already know that for 100%. I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna be like 2-3 hours in. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do something else. And I don't know. Somehow Zelda games, they don't do it for me.
Me neither. My wife loves it, and that's the only reason I own a few of these. Like I have like 3 or 4 Zelda games, and I won't touch them. I'm very much like you. I won't even touch them with a stick. I don't care. But my wife insists that I have them because she'll play one of these days. But yeah, I just don't get it. In my opinion. But anyways, moving on from there, because I'm probably ruining somebody's childhood. Let me go on ahead and ask PS5. I mean, you blew me so far to the left when you said that thing about the Switch right there that I almost forgot about what we were talking about for a second. But the PS5 Series S and X, what's up with those? Which one did you have your hands on first? And
Series S.
Series S is what you had your hands on first. Okay, so that question's answered. Where are you at with? Continue.
No, I had the Series S. I had I was still writing. I before I went on YouTube, I wrote reviews on the internet for a Dutch website. And Microsoft asked me if I wanted to preview the Xbox Series S. So they sent me an Xbox Series S about, I think, 2 weeks before the console's release. It was like November 10th, 2020, when the series consoles would release. And like 2 weeks before, I already had a Series S. And that's how I
That's
got
dope.
into, yeah. So I was already playing these games and stuff, and that's how the channel. I already had a Series X in pre-order, so I had to wait up till the 10th of November to get my Series X. But yeah, I started with the Series S.
Okay, so you started with the Series S. You got to try out some games on there. I assumed that you enjoyed what you got out of out of the deal and the situation. Tell me what it was like when you were comparing that to your pre-ordered Series X when you first got it, because you had to be in some sort of shock and awe, like, I got both of these suckers right now, and you got your own channel. And I know the mind is just running rampant. What was like some of the first things that you just had to get tested and figure out between the two systems?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know actually. I didn't. There weren't that much games right at that moment. I think it was like Dirt Rally or something. No, Dirt
Yeah,
5 or
there's Dirt
something.
5. There was like Assassin's Creed. There was
Yeah, Assassin's Creed
Watch
Odyssey.
Dogs
You had,
Legion.
and you got that Kid Icarus game. I think it was from Ubisoft. What was it called? I don't know. There were a few games.
There was, I think, Immortals Phoenix Rising was out
Immortal
around
Phoenix
that time.
Rising. Yes, and Falconeer. Those were a little bit like the games you had, and
Ubisoft was pumping out content right at launch.
Yeah, Ubisoft was doing really well at that moment. They had like Watch Dogs, Immortals Phoenix Rising, and Assassin's Creed. But the first games I could play, those were Dirt and Immortals Phoenix Rising and Watch Dogs. So yeah, the first things you test are the frame rates, of course, because yeah, we just came from the Xbox. I had a Xbox One X, so I was really curious how the frame rates would hold up, and yeah, I was blown away by how good these games already looked on the Series S, but even better on the Series X. So yeah, I don't think that there's much difference between the two. It's much more of a resolution thing than really a yeah. It's not that big as some people might think.
Okay. As for so now that you got those two consoles, like super duper dope, you got like you got a ton of stuff to work with, but now the PS5 is something that you've yet to receive. Am I correct, or did you get that on launch?
No, well, I didn't even wanted to buy a PlayStation 5.
You didn't even want one.
No, I didn't even want one. I also didn't buy one day one. So because I think the PlayStation 5 came out like a week later or something.
Yeah, it was just a week. Yeah.
Just a week. So I wasn't even really thinking about PlayStation. Not even in the slightest. I think like half year to a year later or something, Flight Simulator came out for the Xbox Series consoles.
Yeah, it was the summer of 21.
Yeah, summer of 21, Flight Simulator came out. And I went to my local media store. It's called Media Markt. It's like a, how do you say that? In America, you have like
Best Buy
Target,
or GameStop.
Target or something like that. Best Buy. I think it's something like Best Buy. And I went to that store to get me the HOTAS flight stick.
Oh, yeah, I got one of those. You're talking about from Thrustmaster?
Yeah. I wanted to have one of those flight sticks to play Flight Simulator with on my Xbox. And I went to the store. They didn't have any. And I was talking to this guy that works there. And I saw all kinds of people running around with PlayStation 5s. And that was in the time that PlayStation 5s were not available. People couldn't get a PlayStation 5. It was impossible to get a PlayStation 5. So I was talking with him, and I said, what are all these people doing walking around with PlayStation 5s? Yeah, we just got a surprise sending today with all PlayStation 5s, and yeah, do you want one? And I was like, why not? And that's how I got my PlayStation 5.
I think so many people wish they were in your situation with that, because wow, of all times to be able to get something when everyone is like looking at every website they possibly can, refresh. You got all these scalpers like, you want a PS5, $1,200.
Yeah.
like, and you walk into the store and the dude's like, you want a PS5? What the hell?
That's literally how it went. And they didn't have the HOTAS flight stick. So instead of a flight stick, I went outside with a PlayStation 5 under my arms. And that's how I got my PlayStation 5. It was really random. I wasn't expecting that at all.
To think that the flight stick is out of stock, but the PS5 is in stock. That's just so weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know 100% how that sounds, and it was really crazy. So I got home and I was like, what the freaky deaky did I just do?
What just happened?
What happened here? Dude, did I buy myself a PlayStation? They even had the digital and the disc version. I could even choose, and I was like, yeah, give me the digital version because I'm never gonna use that disc drive. And I still have the digital version. I love it. I will never buy one with a disc drive in it. But I had the choice. I could say, oh no, I will pay $100 more for the disc version, but no. I didn't even have to buy anything extra or anything. It was €399 and I'm out. That's how I got my PlayStation 5.
That's a wild, pretty dope story, though. Not gonna lie, it's pretty cool. All right, so you got all the things now. Now I get to go into the content creator question for this podcast, because now you have everything. You're ready to go, or at that time you had most of everything because you didn't have the Switch yet, which is still wild to me. But anyways, continuing on, you have the like when did you actually start doing these videos for YouTube, or did you start somewhere else first?
No, yeah, I started somewhere else because I was still writing reviews for the website. It was a Dutch website. I was making some Dutch videos, and because I already had the Series S, I made a video of Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Series S in Dutch. And I got so many people. That video, normally my video, my channel had like 500 subscribers or something.
So like me.
What? Yeah, like you. And it had like 500 subscribers or something like that. And I was really proud. I was really cool with that. I got like, most videos got like 50 to 200 views. And it was all good. It was perfectly fine. I was happy. But then I made this video of Red Dead Redemption 2. I didn't even have recording hardware. I didn't even had a PC or a camera or microphone. I nothing. So what I did, I made a video on Twitch, recorded it from Twitch where I was talking over it, that I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Xbox Series S. I uploaded that, I took that video from Twitch, put it on YouTube, and it got like 1,000 views in like a few hours or something. And I was like completely flabbergasted by what the freaky deaky dude just happened.
Right.
And people all asking, Maurice, can you please do this video in English so we can understand what you're saying? So yeah, the same day I went back on Twitch, made the same video because it was like the 8th of November, so it was 2 or 3 days before the Xbox Series S and X came out. And I made this video in English about Red Dead Redemption 2. And that video exploded. It got like, I think,
So now
like
you got
24
two booming videos.
Yeah, but I put the Dutch version. I put that one down. If you watch my first video, I still have the original name of the channel. It was like Xbox Gaming TV or something like that. And that's how it started. And I made a few more videos like Watch Dogs, The Falconeer, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And all those videos, they got like 500 views, 1,000 views. And also my numbers of subscribers, they went from 500 to 1,000 to 2,000. And all within weeks. So I was like, what's going on here? And that's how I got myself a PC. I got myself a capture card. I got myself a cheap ass webcam, a cheap dollar store microphone, and I was just sitting on the couch in my game room in my old house, playing some video games and making for my feeling, very simple content. But yeah, it exploded so hard, and I was at 10,000 subscribers. Sorry, around December or something. I already had like 10,000 subscribers, and I was completely flabbergasted.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that sounds like some really serious fast dominoes falling, man. Some serious dominoes. Well, congratulations, man, on your big jump in YouTube and whatnot. I mean, deserved. You stuck with it, and something came of it. You found that crease, and you took advantage of it. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. People want to see this. Okay, let's do this.
Absolutely
I jumped on the bandwagon, and it was really different content from what I did before. Because before I did a Dutch news program about games, a weekly program with games that come out that week, and it was really simple. But yeah, that's how it started. And yeah, after working with it, I got into like a sort of how do you say that? A formula for my videos. So every video, if you pick a video from a year ago or a video that I uploaded yesterday, they all use the same formula. And that's how it how it got to be like it is today.
Yeah, how it
matured indeed. And that's also the idea. When I got my PlayStation 5, I was like, hey, if this works with the Xbox, maybe it also works with my PlayStation.
Yep. Now hit as many demographics as you can, right?
Yeah. I'm a gamer. I love video games, so I'm not a console fanboy that's constantly on Twitter screaming and yelling dumb shit about the PlayStation or the Xbox. And of course, I love to tease a little bit sometimes.
Well, who doesn't?
I love to poke the dragon a little bit. If that's funny. to make trolls a little bit sad. I love that a lot. Little salty. I love it. I love to watch. I also love to watch those YouTubers always that are into these console fanboys, the cringe and the salt. What they're. I love to watch it.
Oh, it's funny. It's absolutely funny. As long as you kind of know how to distance yourself, it's usually pretty fun. It's just never fun if you're in the middle of it, usually, right?
No.
But moving moving on, but within the same realm of what we've been talking about, I'm kind of curious, like there had to have been something. So obviously, so I'm taking this back before you realize some sort of algorithm at all, or before you even messed around with Twitch or stuff like that. Like, where did the inspiration to even make content come from? Because I feel like usually, like usually it's either some sort of like dare to yourself or from someone else to figure out or get content, or the passion was always there. You just weren't sure how to express it. Like, where were you at with this whole situation?
I think it grew. I think it grew organically. I never thought I would have a YouTube channel with over 50,000 subscribers. I never in my mind it wasn't even an idea to get there. I just like to play video games, and to yeah, I love to share my passion for video games with other people, and I think YouTube was a perfect platform to do that on. I already did it with my reviews that I wrote. I always had like reviews that were like really passionate about the systems and about the games, and that's at least what I hear from the people that read my reviews. So uh, yeah, I love to talk about video games. I love to talk about the history of video games. I just like video games. So it's just as simple as that. And from that point on, I organically get to YouTube, started making videos about the video games that I like to play, and somehow people like to watch those videos. So yeah, there's no end game, there's no idea behind it or nothing.
Gotcha. So yeah, it just came out of just pure enjoyment for games. Everything else just kind of fell in place from there.
Yeah, 100%. It's yeah. I wish I could say it's like I had a business plan or something or what. No.
I think that your answer is even better than that, because I feel that maybe my listeners or maybe even myself hearing something like, yo, I had this business plan and I hit these targets, and then, this next target came up and I nailed it. That makes people like myself that are growing into it kind of nervous. Like, crap, do I need to be that prepared? But what you're saying is, the shit just happened, and like, I ran with it, and I'm here, and I'm happy to do it, and I'm gonna keep going with this because I can see what people like, and I know how to deliver it.
Yeah, that's exactly how I'm doing it. It's not. I don't have targets. I don't care if I can play a video game that gets like 500 views, or a video game that gets 50,000 views. I don't care, because I like to play that game that got 500 views. I don't care. I just like to play video games. My Nintendo channel, it has like 700 subscribers. I just uploaded today a video of Octopath Traveler, and it got what? 50 views, maybe? Let's see. Correctly. 64 views. I'm super with that, because there are 64 people in the world that found it funny or found it nice to see me playing that video game. And I don't care if it's 50,000 people that liked to see my video, or 64 people that like to see my video. It's always amazing that people want to see you play a video game and want to see you, and that's so much more important than making money off of it, or being successful at it. It's a privilege. It's really it is a privilege. And
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
I mean, it is. It's really an endearing kind of feeling when you can, garner not only like people's attentions, but have people that want to come back and continue this experience with you repeatedly, whether it's weekly, daily, monthly, or whatnot. I'm extremely proud of myself. Like, I mean, I only have like 500 or so, subscribers or whatnot. But not that long ago, I had 0.
Hey, I started with 0 too.
Everybody starts with 0, right? So like, just to know that, I'm gaining them quicker than I'm losing them
that's a good thing.
That's a great thing. That's definitely a great thing. But one thing that I feel that is really important to do, especially when you're growing as a YouTuber or you're already established, is to remember where you came from, right? So I pretty much brought in a new segment, and I'm not sure how new it is anymore because I've done it for like the last month and a half now. But I always ask the person that comes onto my show to shout out people that helped them get to where they're at. So this is your moment to do that. If you had some people within your life, whether it's personal, within gaming, or somebody that you never met, but you idolized and they helped you get to where you're at. Do you have some people throughout your life that, pushed you or, helped motivate you to do what you do?
Well, that's a good question. I think one of it's a YouTuber. It's a YouTube channel that really. It's also a YouTuber that does what he likes to do, and that's I don't know if you know him. That's James Rolfe. I don't know him personally, and that's he's from Cinemassacre, and he makes the angry video game nerd videos. Maybe you've heard of those.
Yes, I definitely have heard of the angry video game nerd.
Yeah, and I love what he does on YouTube because he does something that he loves to do. And it's not only the angry video game nerd videos that I like. I also like his video of movie reviews. I like his the whole idea. What he does that with passion, and I think that's something really, really important for a content creator. If you do it without passion, you will never get where you want to be. If you don't have passion for what you do, you will stay in the lower ranks.
You will live in mediocrity.
You live in mediocrity. If I watch Twitch, for instance, I see so many people doing exactly the same thing as everybody else. They're all copy-paste channels. And be yourself. Be who you are. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't be a character of yourself. Be yourself. That's the easiest character you can play.
Yeah, because the reality of who you are will leak.
Exactly.
So why fake the funk, right?
Exactly. Don't try to be someone. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to be the new PewDiePie. Don't try to be the new Ninja. You won't get there. It will never happen. Be yourself. Do what you like to do. And find your niche. Find the things you like to say, to show people, to show your passion, and that's so much more important. And people see through that. People see that. People actually feel that when you're honest about something, you will feel that. I have that with so many great content creators. I can see directly through them that it's all a play. It's all fake. It's nothing. And that's yeah.
Well, I really hope that I'm on the original side of a good amount of what you're talking about, because I love talking to people. I love talking to people about video games and stuff like that. So that's why I invite people here. And one of the things that I tried to make my podcast different by doing is I want to talk about your history and stuff like that. I don't want to talk about today's news. I feel like there's a lot of interviews that happen where it's just like, all right, we're going to talk about today's news. And then the next guest I bring on, we're going to talk about that day's news. And then the next guest. And I was like, shoot, I want to dig into the passion and and figure out why the hell they're even here today, or why
Yeah.
they, or here's a question for you I'd like you to answer that I'm kind of curious about. What made you okay yourself to be on this podcast? Because I'm sure, I mean, maybe it's not every day, but I'm sure you get asked to be on podcasts every once in a while. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe
Almost.
not. But what makes you okay to hop into something like this? Because what, like was it some of the material I sent you that you could look over, or was it something else?
I'm always curious. Curiosity. I think that's the biggest thing. I'm always curious how this works, how other people talk to me, and it makes me also better at doing things online, you know. And if it's a channel with 50 people or 50 subscribers, or a channel with 500,000 subscribers, I don't care. I love to share my passion with other people. And if they ask me to be like, hey Maurice, do you want to be on my podcast? That's like an honor to me. It's like, okay, I'm interesting enough to be asked on somebody else's program. So yeah, of course I will be there. It's a really big honor, actually. So yeah, I love it. I really, really, really love it when I get asked to be on on something like this. It's not that I get asked a lot, I must say. It's also not something I'm like, oh my goodness, you have to invite me to your podcast, or you now need to do my video. No, I don't think. But I'm really easy to go by. You know, if you ask me something on Twitter, or if you send me an email, I will always answer back. People send me messages on my Xbox on a daily basis. I always send a message back, because, and they're always the same questions, and they're always the same things they send, but I always handle them like it's the first time I'm getting a question like that, because for them it is the first time they ask that question. So I really like it when people do that, because they have genuine interest in what you do and what you like to do, and they enjoy what you are saying to them. So yeah, it makes me sometimes really humble, to be honest.
Well, it's also really important in this day and age to do your best to get out of your comfort zone, right? Because I feel like in this day and age, it's so easy to wrap yourself around only what you like and what you find appropriate, and just kind of push everything else away, right? But like, if you actually involve yourself, you'll notice, man, like there's a lot of people, maybe not exactly like me, but similar, that see that want the same kind of thing. They just want to interact a little bit. They don't want to stay outside all night, but they want to come outside for a little bit to see what's happening. A little bit of current event kind of thing.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. And I just enjoy it. I attention, it doesn't matter what kind of attention it is. Attention, a human always likes attention. However you want to say it, it is a fact. You like attention. So if I get attention from somebody, if it's a podcast, or if it's a simple message, or if it's even a simple like on one of my videos, it always gives me a special feeling. Like, yeah, okay, I did something for those people to get them out of their daily routine to check something they like, they have the same passion about, and that's so cool. That's such a great feeling.
You ain't lying. It absolutely really is. But we got about 25 minutes left before I got to shut her down, because I have a second interview in a little over an hour and a half, or just under an hour and a half, actually. And I want to carry this out appropriately and also be energized enough to continue with the second one in a little while. So getting back to some of the questions that I have listed here, I do need to know, out of all of the consoles that we just got done talking about and stuff like that, what's probably the most beloved one of them all?
I must say Xbox.
The 360?
I must. No, Xbox overall.
Oh, wow. Okay. The whole brand.
Yeah, the whole brand. Right now, the Xbox gave me so much. Gave me real good games. Gave me my YouTube channel. I'm really thankful for that. And yeah, these days I still play it most on my Xbox. So yeah, the Xbox is still it is my go-to to console, and I really love playing on Xbox. And that said, I love my PlayStation 5, I love my Nintendo Switch, and yeah, but Xbox is my my go-to.
Got it. Next question I got is what would be probably a gaming genre that you don't really like or that you kind of walk away from?
Sport games.
Say that again?
Sporting
Sport.
games. Yeah.
Okay, sport games.
FIFA, Madden, NBA. I just don't care.
Why?
I don't know. I just doesn't hit with me. I'm always how do I say that? If I can go outside with a ball and play that same game for real, without any strange strings attached, I don't want a video game about it.
Damn. Okay, fair enough. All right, so then moving on, I guess.
Moving on.
No. I'm fine with that answer. Absolutely. I get it. The only sports game I really play as of right now is pretty much basketball. I love football more than any other sport, and football being American football, not soccer.
Yeah.
I love football more than anything, but like. And it's the same thing with basketball nowadays. Like we come to a time where it's only like one developer making that sports game. So it really isn't as entertaining as it used to be back in the day when I could pick up Madden, I could pick up this game, I could pick up 2K, I could pick up, some other random sports game. All the old sports games back in the Sega time had like the title with like the person's name on the cover, Joe Montana football or Deion Sanders primetime football or Chris Berman Sunday night football, ESPN.
NCAA, and I don't know.
Bill Walsh and all that good stuff. But now it's only just one developer that gets a license for it. So it makes the genre less appealing to me personally.
But that's not a genre that I would play. I do make a video on it, but you definitely need to check one of those videos sometime.
But
those are really fun. No, those not. I let the computer play against each other. I'm not even playing. I'm that bad.
He's like, I got zero time
NBA
for this.
2K. I got zero time for that. And you know what the worst part is? And I'm feeling guilty about that sometimes. I get a lot of keys from developers like from 2K, Ubisoft, all of them. EA Sports, everybody. They send me the keys for these games. And they always send you like the most expensive, extreme, ultimate edition, blah, blah, blah. They send you that one. So with NBA 2K23 or something like that, they send you like the ultimate Michael Jordan extreme edition. I think that cost like $130 or $140 or something like that. And I play it 20 minutes and then I throw it off the hard drive.
Damn.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
That is pretty bad, but it is what it is, man. That's what you got to do when you review, and it's definitely not something that's up your alley. I mean, my buddy Loke.
But it doesn't feel good. I'm always like, give me the most simple version of that game. Don't give me that really expensive. We only have the expensive. Yeah,
Shucks.
it is what it is. It is what it is.
Shucks. Anyways, all right. Well, that's really interesting. He's like, I get this most expensive one, and I wouldn't donate $1 to it. Is what he
No,
said.
no,
All right.
no.
So now we're gonna go on something a little bit more positive. I want to know like what the 3 best games that you've played in the last year were. They didn't have to come out in the last year. Just within the last year of what you played, what were the 3 best games for you?
Vampire Survivors.
That one just fell out of your mouth.
Yeah, Vampire Survivors 100%. Cult of the Lamb. And I have to say Horizon Forbidden West.
Horizon Forbidden, did not see that coming.
Yeah.
What about that game was so impactful for you? Because I'm not going to lie, it was a freaking snore fest for me.
Yeah, I know, but it hit all the boxes with me. I loved it. I just loved it. I don't know why. It hit all the boxes. I completed it from beginning to end, and I just liked it. I don't know why.
It is a good looking. It's a gorgeous game. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I think the problem was I was really looking for a reason to really utilize my PlayStation 5, and I had the PlayStation 5. I didn't had that much games for it, so when Horizon Forbidden West came out, I was like, yeah, this is a game I would definitely play on the PlayStation 5. So yeah, I think that's the yeah. So those 3 games.
Out of those 3 games, which one would you hand Game of the Year to?
Vampire Survivors.
Mm-hmm. The one without the buttons and just the directional.
Yes, I love that game.
It's a great game.
It's I'm still playing it. I'm still playing it to this day. I'm still enjoying that game. I was watching Twitter, and even what's his name, P3, the boss from Xbox.
Yeah, Phil Spencer.
Phil Spencer. He even tweeted that he just got all the achievements for Vampire Survivors.
He's a maniac.
I love Vampire Survivors. That game is so stupid. You can buy it for $3.99. It costs nothing. You can literally run that game on a potato, but a real potato, not a Series S, but a real potato. And it's just amazing. I love it. The simplicity is mwah. And that's what gaming is all about. Gaming shouldn't be about amazing graphics or hyper inventive controls and stuff. It should be about fun, having fun. And what's the thing that I found in Vampire Survivors? Fun. So,
very simple.
Game of the Year.
Perfect. Simple. All right. And we're down to like our last 4 questions. The first one being, what is your favorite studio and what game best represents the studio that you call your favorite? I'm wondering if it's going to be Rare
Capcom.
Again. Oh, you said Capcom. Okay, excuse me.
Capcom. Definitely Capcom. I think from all the years, from the early 80s up till now, there's almost not a single game that's not good that comes from Capcom. Those guys always make gold. Even the remakes, the newer games, I love Capcom.
Okay, so
no. Oh, wait a second. There's somebody in the Xbox International podcast. I was joking.
No, yeah. He said he just broke my heart. No, he didn't call it a potato. He said not what people call the Xbox potato. He said no, a real potato.
That's a running joke on my channel, actually, because a lot of people always say like, oh, the Xbox Series S is a potato console. No, it's not a potato console. It's a next-gen console. So, that's it.
Oh,
That's why
sorry,
I said
Louis.
it. So nobody touches my Xbox Series S. I've got 3 of those things here.
Oh my
And
God,
I
you're a
love
maniac.
the Series S.
What made you buy 2 more? And did you have 3 Series S's before you got the Switch?
Yes.
Oh, come on. Anyways, all right.
I've got it's
I
even
need some
worse.
air.
It's even worse. It's even worse. I've also got 2 Series X's and I've got 2 PlayStation 5s.
Did you have all of those before the oh my
No,
God.
no. Yeah. I was thinking, but the Series X, the second Series X, and I got like 2 months ago because I just moved out to a new place and I have a Series X downstairs in my living room, and I still wanted to do videos on the Series X, but I didn't want to get like I know for first world problems, but I didn't want to pull the Series X from downstairs upstairs. So I just bought an extra Series X for upstairs. So
Maurice had some more room. He said, "Look, I need another console. I got too much room."
let's do that. So that's why I got a second Series X. The reason why I got 3 Series S's is also pretty simple. I got 1 Series S, and that's still the first Series S I got from Microsoft. That's still standing here, that I'm using for all my videos. So the one you see right now that I make videos on is still the same Series S that I used with my first video. The other 2, I've got one. One is still in box. It's behind me, behind the Ghostbusters logo, and still in box because I can't be without a Series S. I could get without a Series X, but if my Series S broke down, I need a Series S right away. So that's why I have one on reserve. Never use. Hopefully I'm never gonna use it. And I've got 1 Series S downstairs, and that one is hooked up with the upspec screen. I've got this flip-on screen,
Yep,
so
I know what you're
can
talking
get
about.
yeah.
Those things are dope. They
Yeah.
yeah, because they fall right on top of the console and you can flip it up.
Correct.
Super
and that's
cool
why,
thing.
and that's the one I always bring with me if I go to places or fairs or anything. That's the one I always have with me. So that's why I have 3 Series S's.
This man got a gun in the closet, though, man. He's like, yo, if one of these break, I got a replacement. I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go. So, yeah. And PlayStation 5, same story, because, the PlayStation 5 is still a little bit hard to get. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to take any chances. I could get an extra PlayStation 5. I used that one downstairs. And if that one breaks down, I can use the other one. So I'm never without any consoles because I need to put out content constantly on my channel, because otherwise my channel goes down.
Man, I got a quick question about that, actually, because I'm obviously kind of more of a newer podcaster, and I'm not. I've yet to deal with the downslide of anything really yet. What is that like for somebody of your nature that has a ton of subscribers at this time? Like, what kind of lull would you have to take to really see like a downslide?
How do you mean?
Like a lull, like if you weren't, if you were to not upload something in X amount of time, you would probably see like a big shift. How long do you think that is?
A week.
A week. Wow.
A week. If I don't upload a week long, I will definitely see a really big downslide.
Jeez Louise, has that ever have you ever experienced that?
Well, I'm experiencing it right now because I'm actually a little bit sick. So I just uploaded today a video, and I think the last video I uploaded was Saturday, and yeah, I can definitely feel a hit in the viewers. Definitely, you can definitely feel that.
What does anything happen? Does YouTube like notify you, or is
No, no,
is there
no,
anything that
no.
happens to you
It's
monetarily
algorithm.
or anything? It's just
It's
algorithm
just
based.
it's just algorithm. Yeah,
Okay, and sticking to that algorithm is what keeps pumping them up more and more and more.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right, consistency. In other words, okay.
Consistency is crucial with YouTube.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm doing my damn best, bruh. but anyways, like I said, last few questions. This one's a fun one every time. If you were to revive 2 dead IPs, which 2 would you bring back and give triple A quality to?
The Suffering.
Ooh, wow, that game was creepy as hell.
Yeah, The Suffering. The Suffering is amazing. I never got why they stopped making those games. I loved The Suffering. And they should bring a remastered collection, or they should completely start with a new series of The Suffering. I love The Suffering. And yeah, The Suffering. Definitely. 100%.
Okay, that's one. What would be number 2?
Number 2. Pooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. The Suffering I always had like as one of the firsts.
If I can chime in, I'd say True Crime Streets of LA. Let me get that back.
Maybe Turok.
Turok, like the 64 versions,
Yeah,
or like
the
the
64 versions. Give me a Turok Dinosaur Hunter, but a good one.
I loved Rage Wars. Turok Rage Wars was my joint. The different like secondary ammunition and stuff that you got in that game was insane. The levels reminds you a lot of like Doom, or like or better yet, like an Unreal Tournament.
Yeah.
Type of feel for sure.
But there are many more games. I would love to see. I see it right now also in the comment section. Condemned, new Condemned. Bring it on. Maybe not a lot of people talk about that one, but there were like on the 360. There were 2 Saw games. Those were amazing. Those were super cool. They never got through with that series of games, but the Saw games were amazing.
Yeah, you got to think it's probably licensing or something with that thing.
But oh man, yeah, I love my horror games. Give me a good horror game like Resident Evil or Suffering or Silent Hill. I love my horror games. I love it.
Okay, gotcha.
I just got the PlayStation VR 2.
Well, you gonna play some Resident Evil?
I was playing some Resident Evil Village in VR 2, but yeah, that's so cool. You have no idea.
Got
it's really awesome.
Mr. Horror Guy got here.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm down to my last 2 main questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually combine those 2 into one question. So first, I want to ask, what frustrates you about gaming? And it can be any part of gaming, where it's community, development, the game itself, the whatever.
Too many open world games. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Too many open world games. I'm a little bit done with that genre of games. Every game needs to be open world, third person action adventure, open world, and give me a solid single player, straightforward single player game, and I would love it. You know, something like Dead Space remake that I just played. I know it's an older game, but man, that feels so good. Or Metroid Prime, that's also a little bit open world, but I want back to the more straightforward games. A lot of these games that have like these open worlds, Forspoken,
Ghost
for
Recon.
instance, Ghost Recon, every Ubisoft game from the last 10 years, they're all the same. They're all the same, and there are too many. There's just too many open world games. And the problem with these open world games is if it's done correctly, if it's done good, I have no problem with it. But 99% of these games it's just giving the game live support. So every extra mission you play is the same. It's like go from place A to place B, shoot C, D, E, and F, and go back to A.
Yeah. Deliver this package. Here's it. Put it in your backpack. Go over there.
It's putting games on live support, and I think that's a problem in gaming right now. Too many games are the same. That's also a problem what I have with the PlayStation. A lot of people are always saying, yeah, PlayStation has the best, amazing exclusives ever, but they're all the same game. They all have it's all the same kind of games.
Yeah, very similar attributes.
Yeah, every one of them. They're not bad games, and if you are a person that doesn't play a lot of games, I think it's really cool to see one or two of these games a year. But for someone like me that plays a different game on a weekly basis, I'm holding my heart for Starfield.
Uh-oh.
I really am. Because I know for a fact that I'm not going to complete that game.
Damn. What would make you complete a Starfield?
A linear story, straightforward, and I know it's not
1,000 planets.
Not 1,000 planets. Give me 10 planets made really good, then 1,000 planets made meh.
That you never, yeah. I mean, and they also did say like you don't have to go to all these things, but at the same time, when you make something as open like that, you're daring me to get lost. You're daring me to get lost.
I just don't care for those guys. I also don't have the time for it. I just don't have the time to do it. Just so give me a linear game. I was so happy with Hi-Fi Rush. Oh, that game was amazing. Straightforward. From here to the end. Oh, I loved it. Back to the early 2000s. Yes. Bring back those times. I don't need open worlds. I don't need to be running around as some kind of stupid desert level or anything. It's actually, now that I'm saying this, it's actually a miracle. A freaking miracle that I completed Horizon Forbidden West.
I mean, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. It is a miracle.
It's a miracle that I enjoyed that game and that I completed it. But normally, nah, it's not gonna happen.
Okay. All right. Then on the opposite side of that all, and try to give a little bit of a different answer because I see where your head kind of is, but I'm kind of curious what else. So on that, what would be a dream come true in gaming instead of the obvious more linear that you just said?
More linear. No more exclusives
at all.
At all.
So you want to see God of War on Xbox, Halo on PlayStation, Zelda on freaking GeForce Now.
Bring it.
Hey, I'm not mad about that because, hey, I have so many different options from PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox, all the way to the OG Xbox. I understand we're not going backwards, but like if you can give me the option to play Zelda on my PC and then turn around and continue it on my Switch. Like, even if it's not like accessible between every single platform, I want at least one other place to be able to play it. So I want all the PlayStation, like if PC can be that center to everything, just that, like, I understand what you're saying. Like, you're saying, like, yo, just make it available everywhere. I'm saying, yo, if you can't do that, at least make the PC like the I don't know, like the United Nations. Yes, like, you all come together there.
It's, if you think about it, gaming is a really, really crazy industry, because it would be, for instance, if you buy a movie on Blu-ray and you could only play the new Spider-Man movie on a Sony Blu-ray player, that would be insane if you think about it. But with gaming, it's normal. It's completely normal that
that Blu-ray disc only goes into that console.
Yeah, or if I buy a movie from Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers has a deal with Pioneer or something, and you can only play a Blu-ray on a Pioneer device, and that you need to have like 5 different Blu-ray players to play your videos at home. That's like crazy if you think about it. But with video games, it's super normal that if you want to play a Spider-Man game, you need to buy a PlayStation. If you need to play if you want to play a Zelda game, you need to buy a Nintendo. If you want to play Halo, you need to buy something that has xCloud. So, if you think about it, it's really crazy, this industry.
You're the first person to ever break that down to me like that, to make it sound as ludicrous as it is.
It is. It is as ludicrous as it is. It's actually, if you think about it for a little bit longer, it's getting stupider and stupider if you think about it. I just want to play my video games. I don't care. 90% of the people that play video games, that don't care what kind of device they have. They don't care. The people that I know that play video games, that I found on birthday parties and stuff, they have like a PlayStation or they have an Xbox because they like to play Call of Duty or something. They don't care what kind of plastic box that's under their TV. They just want to play a video game after a long day of work. They don't do console wars or anything. They just want to play a video game. So why do we still need to buy different consoles to play different games? It's stupid if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but at the same time, it's like Sony wants to get, some sort of profit for the device that they made, and the only way that they see fit to do it is to make something exclusive.
Then make the device the most important thing. Then make the device the reason why you buy that console. Then make the best possible device that you can to get people into your ecosystem. That's my opinion.
For sure. Because, I mean, obviously, needs are going to differ amongst the people regardless. Yeah. So even if God of War comes out to Xbox and Halo comes out to PlayStation, but they're still available on their original consoles or whatnot, there's still going to be those folks that they want to play Halo, but they just prefer holding a Sony controller, or they want to play Horizon Forbidden West, but they just don't like the stick placement on the PlayStation.
Exactly.
And to be honest, that's why that's why the PC is that center stage between, that's why I think PC really needs to be utilized more. I know that we're seeing that more this generation. Xbox is like saying, like, flat out, as soon as we drop a game, it's there too. And they're doing a great job, in my opinion, of making it like quick to be able to stay within that ecosystem. So I have the app on my PC. I can play the same game on my phone and go exactly where I left off, and then turn on my Xbox after I shut off cloud gaming off my phone and keep going on my Xbox. And I want to see that seamlessness with Nintendo and PlayStation as well. PlayStation's working on it, but I know that they're dragging their feet.
Of course, they're still holding on to a premises that's old fashioned. I think they're still trying to get people into their own ecosystem and force people to buy their system. And you see much more of Xbox right now is much more trying to be open up. Like, if everybody plays, we all win. Like Phil Spencer really nicely said in the 20th anniversary, and that's true. If we all play, we all benefit, because it's about the games, not the consoles.
Do you think? And this is, I know I'm just adding one more question, right? But this is kind of an important question to me, just from like the optics of gaming, and in this particular situation for PlayStation, I'm wondering if you see anywhere down the line where they're gonna do that same thing that they've been doing and saying, that's not going to come out for a year after the PlayStation version comes out. Do you think at some point that's going to bite them in the ass? For instance, I think what's biting them in the ass currently is Square Enix is very buddy with PlayStation, right? And when they first got talks about Final Fantasy 16 coming to PC, it was almost laughed at, right? Mm-hmm. And then, people started looking at him all snide, like, oh, like that's not the messaging that we were looking for. And then now they come out and say, yo, we are making it for PC, but it's 6 months exclusive to PlayStation. But on top of that, we haven't even really started working on a PC version for that. So in other words, what I'm hearing from Square Enix is this is a PlayStation exclusive until further notice. This isn't a 6 month exclusive. This is a until further notice exclusive, like Final Fantasy VII Remake was.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something about this, and I think I'm going to be right about this. And so, put it down. Square Enix, they already sold off their Western studios. There's only like a small part of Square Enix still left in Japan, and they're not doing really good. They're struggling. And to be honest, if Microsoft wasn't busy right now with the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, I think Sony would already have bought Square Enix off as a first-party developer.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that, because right now Sony doesn't want to make a mess where there's already something that they have to focus on right now. Because if they go in and say, hey, we're acquiring this right now, the FTC, EU, and stuff like that might be like, mind your own damn business. I don't know why you're frustrated with this if you're buying this.
The moment the Activision Blizzard deal goes through, I will tell you this: Sony will announce that they bought Square Enix.
Do you think? Do you think Team Ninja is up there as well?
No.
No, not at all.
No,
you don't think that the next game coming from Team Ninja for the PlayStation 5, the exclusive game, the Ronin game or whatnot, you don't think that's like a showcase piece to possibly purchase?
No.
Okay. That's interesting. That's cool.
I don't think so. No.
I've heard some people saying, oh, this is a showcase piece for Sony before they buy Team Ninja.
No, because otherwise they wouldn't have this game
Wolong?
The Wolong on Xbox Game Pass. So no, that's not gonna happen.
Matt likes game in the chat saying Maurice got some great takes.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. If you think about it, it's pretty simple. It's Square Enix. That's a done deal. It's just a small part. They just had like Square Enix just had 2 incredible major flops back to back. Like really expensive games that flopped immensely. Forspoken and Babylon's Fall, both like extreme flops.
Yeah, I think Babylon's Fall is gone now.
Babylon's Fall is already gone, and Forspoken, they all are already dumping it here in the Netherlands. And Sony go get Take-Two? No, they're not gonna get Take-Two because they can't buy Take-Two. It's not gonna happen. Take-Two is also Rockstar, and sorry to say, Take-Two is worth more than PlayStation. So that's not gonna happen. Sony doesn't have the money in house to buy a publisher like Take-Two. That's not gonna happen.
He shut you down, Crazy Lou. He shut you down on that one, bro. but anyways, we got to get out of here, man. It was a phenomenal interview. I had a really good time with you. I'm sorry that you're under the weather and you have to deal with that while being on this podcast today, but I sure tell you that I'm very grateful that you set aside the time and still did that in the shape that you're currently in. Hope that you get better. And I hope you guys that are in the chat or those of you watching afterwards, go down to that description and check him out. Hit that subscribe button. He's a good dude, gets good content. As you see, he doesn't console war. He just spits the facts as he sees them. So please go out and support. But just in case they want to hear it verbally, Brother Maurice, please let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, on Twitter @the Games Tester, and on YouTube @the Nintendo Tester, @the Xbox Tester, @the PlayStation Tester. So yeah, simple as that.
Console
and if you want to,
Tester,
the Console Tester. I play everything. I love them all. So
all right,
I really want to thank you for having me on your show. It's been a pleasure, and I'm really humbled by it. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And then on the exit, I always ask this question for my guests. I want you, for me, real quick before we get up out of here and I do my last little sign out, to describe gaming in just 3 words.
Wow. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I can only say it in one word. Passion.
Passion. Yeah, you said screw the other 2 words. I got
Screw
it
the other
in one.
2.
All right, fair enough. So you said passion is what gaming is to him. Just one word for him. That's the first time that this ever happened on this podcast. And I'll take it. I'll take it. That's awesome. Thank you again, Maurice. Thank you, everybody in the chat that came through to watch this live. Thanks to those of you that are coming in afterwards to watch this not live. But please keep in mind that I still got some stuff coming out this week. In fact, I got something coming out here in a little over an hour, or a little under an hour, actually. I got another interview for Behind Them Sticks this evening with Mr. Benjamin Penrose, which is the art director for Maverick Games, a brand new studio led by him, a few other people, and somebody else you might know named Mike Brown, that came from Playground not that long ago. So please tune in here shortly, and you'll be alerted if you hit that bell that I'm going live with Mr. Penrose. So thank you, everybody that came out here. Thank you one more time, Maurice, for coming out and giving me your time and your energy and whatnot. It's been an awesome time. You guys make sure to do what I always say at every end of every episode. Make sure that you're keeping it gaming or keeping it moving. See you later, y'all.
Bye.
Welcome to the Behind Them Sticks podcast, brought to you by TSWS Game.
Come and talk to me, Lennard Ray. Come on. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby. Listen, I'm just saying we can rule the world, just me and you, if you quit playing. Won't you take a chance